Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Soupy Socks Enduro coming at you, and I have a build series that I'm going to be diving into, and it's all about my 2003 RM 125 dirt bike. You don't want to miss it, so stick around and find out what my plans are. So guys, well, I haven't been on the bike as much as I'd like to due to, work and other types of environmental issues as we're just getting out of the winter. I did start up my bike, did get a chance to go to Porcupine. You can see it in those other videos. But today's going to be a real quick video. Just going to do a walk around on what my plans are and what my build process is going to be on the RM. It's not going to be too crazy. Got a little bit of a budget to work with, and some work constraints. But we're definitely going to be keeping Bumblebee here. That's who I nicknamed the RM. But I got some good mods that I do want to get on it, just to make it a little bit more competent in the woods. So before we do that, I'm going to go in there and do a little bit of a subscriber Decal install. That's the first mod actually for 2021. I got MVDBR, Josh and Nat. They do a lot of enduro and adventure rides. Now, we all share decals. As if you grow into a YouTube community, there are going to be some YouTubers that stick around, and those ones there, you get a really good friendship out of it. So he sent me some decals a long time ago, and I'm going to go in and do a little bit of an install. First of all, I want to clean the plastic, make sure there's no dirt or grime on it, so the glue sticks better, so I don't lose it out on the trails or it doesn't peel off prematurely. So let's go grab it, throw it on, and then we'll do a walk around on some of the plans that I got for the RM. Alrighty guys, so I got my Decal here. Like I said, I had these for quite a while, but I never put it on. Now I got two styles here that Josh and Nat gave me. I've got the round 3-inch MVDBR Decal with the Mad Dog, and I have their MVDBR Enduro. And this one's more of a long one with the little Enduro guy. So I'm thinking I want to do one of the two. So I don't want to use them all up. I do want to have one that's kind of in a nice area that it will not come out. That might peel off. I think in here is going to be where I'm going to do it. But before I actually stick it on, I'm going to go and whoop, I don't want to lose that. Before I go in there, I'm going to clean up the surface. So we'll get right back at you. There's a train coming and we will not be able to hear what I'm saying. Now that the train is out of the way, I can actually talk and hear myself think. So I gave this a bit of a cleanup while the train was riding by, and like I said, I'm going to go with this long MVDBR Enduro with a little motocross guy. And I'm going to stick it on right here. So if you have a channel and you have some swag, let me know. I do support other channels that support me, and definitely looking forward to collaborating with some other riders. So this is what it's all about, is a good community support, enjoying our rides, seeing everybody else around the world, how they enduro, how they ride, seeing other parts of the country as well. So again, if you're in Alberta, in Canada, US, wherever that may be, send me a couple of decals or send me some of your links so I can check it out. It'd be awesome, and I'd be more than happy to. So let's just jump around, do a little bit of a walk around, and take a look at what my plans are for this motocross bike turning enduro. So here we are at the business end of the bike. We're looking at some things that I want to do with it. So of course this is a full true blue motocross bike, and those bikes aren't necessarily fun or enjoyable to ride out in the out in the bush and do a lot of trails and woods riding, especially what I do. So obviously there's going to be some changes to the bike, but what are they? Well, I'm dividing the build up into two parts of this series, or actually three parts. Let me correct myself. I'm going to do a three-part build with this one. First of all is care and maintenance, making sure it runs really well, everything is adjusted properly, the sag in the suspension and the fork seals, everything is in good tune, along with the carburetor, clutch, brakes, radiator, and everything. So mechanically it has to be sound. That's the most important part of this build series. There's no sense in throwing lots of resources at the bike if it's not going to run well. The second part of it is to actually make it more woods riding friendly, more of an enduro bike. Now that is where you can open up Pandora's box. You can open up to a dark room and entering it and spending all sorts of money and going down that road, which I have to have some checks and balances in that area too. The third one will be some armor and protection. And that's what I need to sort out. So originally when I went with this, I went online on YouTube, and of course there's a million suggestions. All of them are valid in their own right. A lot of the suggestions that were made, were basically point on. However, you do have a budget to work with. You could make this a full true enduro bike with a lot of cash. A lot of people at the end of the day, what they told me though is that you're still ending up with a 17, 18-year-old motocross bike with a lot of enduro goodies on it. So I have to kind of figure out what's going to give me bang for the buck without overspending. But however, I do love this bike. I've been riding it. It's the most friendly bike that I rode, and I want to kind of get into it. So what I have done to this bike so far is very basic. I did an hour meter install. You can check out one of my videos. I have that guy right there, and I studded up the tires probably early this year. There's another video on it because I did some ridings in the Porcupine. However, now I'm going to need new tires. So the best thing that I've done so far is to hook up with a bike builder and a local retailer in my area. Now I live in Pincher Creek, but the area does cover, the Crow's Nest Pass to Fort McLeod. So I went and got hooked up with RPM Mechanical. I will put all their links in the description. I highly recommend, if you're in Southern Alberta, to stop in and to go check those guys out. They know the industry. They're power sports enthusiasts. So this is their passion. Not only is it their business, but they do everything by experience, especially in this local area. So they'll guide you really well and give you the latest and greatest. And the best thing is that not only do you get the parts that you need, you can also get the service, and you also get the over-the-counter knowledge, and you can't get that online, and that itself is worth a lot. We pay for things, but price is one thing. Price is what you pay, value is what you get, and in that case the value is priceless. So anyway, go check out RPM Mechanical. They're located in Blairmore, just down the Crow's Nest Pass, and I will show all the links to them. So getting back to the build, basically a lot of people said go with an 18-inch rear tire. Lots of validity into that. That's where the industry's gone. But to cut cost, I just decided to say, okay, well, I obviously need new rubber. Instead of doing a full 18 with all new tires, I'm just going to go with more of a sticky tires. So Alan at RPM, we're just looking at some of the choices I have and what some of the local riders are riding with. Now, I can also go with a different rear sprocket. That was another suggestion brought out. Now, there's going to be a lot of suggestions. I don't know if I'm going to remember or cover them all. These are the ones that just stood out to me. So the rear sprocket, you can get one, I think it's a smaller one, a little lug better. So I decided not on that one, just from a price point, but what I did order and what is going to be installed here hopefully soon is a Flywheel Weight. Let me just readjust the tripod. So the Flywheel Weight would be basically where the Suzuki cover is. I decided to go with that one. That one's gonna be definitely a lot better in the power range. It'll give me more lugging power. So that was a suggestion that I decided to go with. Again, it was something that's gonna make this thing a little bit more woods friendly. So that's kind of where I'm going with soft tires. Now we're gonna go with the Flywheel Weight. Now, again, up here, a little bit closer, would be my beautiful carburetor. Now, the bike does have hard starting in the cold weather, or in cold starts all year long. But anyway, I would like to move up to what's called the electron carburetor. Again, a nice you know, addition to the type of riding we're doing, especially with elevation changes that we have. However, at that price point, it's not kind of my budget at this year. I will probably get that the next year or the year after. This bike is a keeper, so I don't mind doing this over years rather than months. So this year, just going to get a carburetor rebuilt and rejet it for the elevation that we're dealing with. So basically, that's it for the Enduro build on this bike in terms of the first series. So if I go back to where I was talking about is splitting it up to 3, the first, get it running right. Enjoy the bike. Enjoy what the build on it. Enjoy what I enjoy riding with. So a couple maintenance thing is getting the carburetor rebuilt and rejetted. The next one would be to get the front fork seals repaired or replaced. They do leak, and then I'm going to get the the clutch adjusted. So that's going to cover the maintenance part. The rest of the bike overall is pretty good. Going back to the Enduro build for this year, it's just basically going to go with the Flywheel Weight and with new tires, and I think we're going to go to more of a gum tire. That's what we're kind of looking at. So that's kind of where this bike is looking at getting those type. So that's going to be this year. Now for armor wise, I want to go with a bunch of things, but this year, other than adding a headlight for legal purposes and a tail light, I think I'm just going to go with a skid plate and some bark busters for the handlebars. I might go mid-range. Again, I'm not a very fast rider. I don't really push it too much, but a little bit of protection is better than no protection. And that kind of gets me where the build is. Again, I thank a lot of people who commented on my Facebook posts on those forums that are all over the place, from local Alberta to international posts. They've done really well in the suggestion, but what do you want to do is how you view it. Eventually I do want to upgrade a bike to the Husqvarna if times are good for me. If not, I'm going to build this up slowly, but instead of spending $5,000 or $6,000 and making it a true enduro bike in every sense of the word, I want to do it halfway or a quarter of the way, just enough to make a few little modifications that are going to make it better and to make it more enjoyable. Now, the only really way to enjoy the bike is to actually sit on and ride it, get some ride time. So I've got to look at that factor too of practice. And the reality is that the more you ride, you are going to crash it, you are going to sink it, you are going to do other things to it, which are going to cost some unforeseen costs as well. So a bit of a maintenance budget has to be realized. Anyway, that's kind of the video today. Sorry, it's not a ride video. It's actually really nice today because I guess I could have gone. But this series, as I build it, as I order it, you're going to see a little bit more in depth, and you're going to see a little bit more coverage on it. So I've got a new playlist, which is just the RM125 build rate, and we're going to go from there. Well guys, that brings it to the end of the new series of the build series. Is just basically the first one was the walk around and what I'm going to be doing to it. So feel free to add some of your suggestions. Made some changes to the channel. I'm getting some new decals and some Soupy Socks t-shirts and 3-inch decals. So watch out for those to come out in the future. I'm definitely going to do some giveaways, but also sell them for my supporters who enjoy my channel, even though it's a very small one right now. But anyway guys, if you're new around here, hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Soupy Socks Enduro.